Alright, the patch notes are out, and I'm gonna start with the biggest loser, Mei. She died. Her key normals, 5H, 6H, 3K, and 2H, a whole nerfed. All versions of her horizontal dolphin are getting a damage decrease, as well as more active frames if you hold the button down. At the very least, vertical dolphin gets some decent changes. Lastly, her super is easier to punish. And on to Soul. He got some interesting changes. 5K and 6H got nerfed, as well as 6S and Far Slash. Among those things, he did get some love. Overall, he got shot, but he isn't dead. But for Happy Chaos, that's a little different. Steady aim is basically dead at long range due to the concentration changes. And surprisingly, a lot of his normals have gotten a lot of love. Happy Chaos's curses now disappear on hit. Reloading now has a counter hit state. Rolling is faster, and you can shoot sooner than before. And at the ready has nerfed combo potential. It all boils down to Happy Chaos being able to shoot more at close range and less at far range. And now on to Goldlewis. He is eating fine this patch. They buffed his best jump in to be faster and more disjointed. His 6P might be a decent anti-air. And there's just a slew of buffs for his other normals. Drone is gonna be better in the corner, it'll combo more consistently, and it's gonna hard knockdown, what? And lastly, Big Laser is gonna be harder to punish. And that's Goldlewis, big man, big buffs. And speaking of big men, a whole bunch of his normals have been disjointed or buffed in some other way. Disjointed Potemkin Buster. Help. Hammerfall now goes further, and it grants a hard knockdown on counter hit. Both versions of Megafist got shot. Garuda Impact also got shot. His flick is also better for combos now. And lastly, Potemkin's biggest change, Gigantic High. It no longer has invincibility, but to compensate it has faster startup and less recovery. The explosive first hit is bigger, it won't wall break, and it will still spawn the projectile even if it lands. He's got some interesting changes going on. We'll see how he turns out on patch day. Our boy Kyle got some delicious buffs. The majority of his normals are getting buffed, especially Jump D getting the beefiest of buffs. Fireball can be used more. You can act out of Air Fireball faster. Ride the Lightning got shot just a little, as well as Shock State also getting shot. His DP is easier to punish when it's blocked in midair, and they buffed the lower hitbox, meaning you can't low profile it anymore. Probably. You can act out of Flippity Kick and Dire Clat quicker. Dear lord, Kai's movement speed has been increased in Dragon Install. He's gonna be grabbing us from full screen instantaneously now. That pretty much sums up Kai. He's looking good this patch. You better watch out though. Faust is gonna come and get you with the ground bouncing meteors. When the afro that's attached to the opponent explodes, it now grants a guard crush. That's insane. Mini Faust now attacks faster when aggroed. Bomb Bag now does more damage on the first hit, and will still come out even if you RC early. Mix 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 is now consistent. The P and K versions of Scarecrow are faster. Thrust has a reduced hurtbox at the end. I don't know if this means you'll be able to 6P it or not, but I like it. After Faust's super ends, he'll stay closer to the opponent, meaning better Oki. And then there's the whole host of buffs for his normals. They're all great. So yeah, Woust is looking good. Ramlethal, on the other hand, got a few slaps to the wrist. Far Slash and Heavy Slash both got shot. The rest of her normals got buffed though. Her Sword Shoot got completely shot. It does less damage, the explosion's smaller, and if she gets hit while it's thrown, it's gonna fall to the ground. Thank goodness. Dower works better as a combo tool now. Her dash cancel got shot. The midair sword slash should be easier to combo with. Her beam super does more damage during combos now. And Motobato is easier to punish. Yes. Ramlethal got nerfed in some aspects, but her game plan still seems to be intact. Combine that with the general system changes, and I'd say she's still in a good spot. Anji, on the other hand, I'm not so sure about. He got nothing but buffs for his normals, the most notable being Far Slash, 2S, and 5H. The Butterfly now slows down when you're next to the corner. Fujin got buffed, although it no longer launches when you charge it. The Fujin follow-up Shin got buffed. Nagiha got shot. Why? And Ko got nerfed. Not only does the second hit do less damage, it doesn't have a knockdown anymore. Wow. Out of all the Fujin follow-ups, Rin got the fattest amount of buffs. And lastly, Sai does more damage. And yeah, that's Anji. How you Anji players feeling about these changes? While you think on that, Baiken mains are rejoicing. A lot of our important normals are getting buffed, along with the range nerf for Crouching H. Both air and ground tatamis are getting better hitboxes, so that's cool. Escobar is going to be a little slower, but it's got better recovery, increased knockback, and it won't pull the opponent when you hit them on the ground. The first part of H-Kabari has better combo scaling. Her follow-up now has a counter hit effect. The opponents fly in the direction that she's facing, so no side switches. It hits lower, and she's no longer in counter hit state at the end of the follow-up. Although the follow-up has more recovery on block, and it has a range nerf. You can act out of parry faster than before, even if you missed it. Hell, if the recovery's fast enough, you can probably get super out, which they made very easy to punish. And lastly, Yozansen is on steroids. Baiken definitely got some love. Just like how Axel got some love, my goodness. His normals, all buffed, especially 6k. Rainwater is on steroids. This is now a death sentence for anyone who gets hit by this in the corner. You can combo into his command grab now? Alright. Aerial Snail comes out faster, and you get better Oki out of it. Craziest change, Bomber is now a quarter circle input, but at the cost of my loops! And lastly, Axel's Sickle Storm is easier to punish. Axel's definitely in a good spot, and Chipp is looking pretty good too. Buffs all around for his normals. The aerial normals that have been buffed are going to be more effective on him than any other character, I feel. His grounded diagonal Alpha Blade and the horizontal aerial Alpha Blade have been hit with a range nerf. Air Alpha Blade diagonal has been changed in some ways. I can't tell overall if it's been buffed or nerfed, but here's a gunshot anyways. Beta Blade definitely got shot. Gamma Blade seems to be a better combo tool in the corner, so that's cool. A quicker overhead in the corner? Good lord. And Bankai got an input change. Overall, he's looking strong. Giovanna is looking especially strong this patch. You can control the distance her dash goes, and she's getting chip damage on her normals? Holy sh! 2D is getting shot. Her throw is also getting shot too. Some normals are getting buffed, while Jump D gets nerfed. Dog Kick got nerfed, but Travago got super buffed. Her anti-air DP is now more reliable at anti-airing. Her cross-up is now looking a little insane. And lastly, her super got shot. The nerfs to some of her moves do hurt her, but the buffs to her movement and mix are more than enough to compensate, I'm sure. Now on to Millia. All the normals on display have been buffed. No nerfs here. Haircar? Buffed. Moon? Buffed. Lust Shaker has been fixed. All versions of Top have less recovery, and they don't disappear on block. You better be ready for the mix. And Top S has more knockback. Turbofall has less recovery, and when she grabs you after that, the Oki she gets from it is gonna be nerfed. Capel is better, and finally Winger has been shafted. You Millia mains are eating good this patch. But what about Nago mains? A good majority of the normals shown now have different values of damage and chip based on blood gauge. I'll have to see how this turns out in the patch. You can now cancel the later part of Fukio. Nice. This means you probably can't jab it. Beyblade is gonna be minus. But now it goes farther? The second hit of Shizuriyuki now ground bounces. Nice. The shallow hit of his super hits higher, but now it has more recovery. And his super is easier to punish. Gonna have to find out on patch day whether or not he's overall buffed or nerfed. But I won't have to find that out for Testament. It's either bug fixes or buffs with this character. Every single version of Grave Reaper is just better. The Crow is easier to combo out of. The collision between the Crow and the Succubus lasts longer, and now you can choose whether or not you want the Crow to hit the Succubus. There are buffs all around for this character. Testament mains rejoice. I can't say the same about Leo though. A lot of Leo's normals have been buffed and or nerfed, the biggest one being 2D. His flash kick? It got nerfed. Thank goodness. His cross up will now cross you up in the corner. Get ready for the mix. He now has a back turn low that does increased damage, has a counter hit effect, and it is plus on block. Good god. Holy sh! It doesn't end there. Blitzschlag is a better combo tool. Fun. At least Turbulence is no longer a hard knockdown. Thank goodness. Well, back turn stance is more terrifying now. Good for you gorilla mains out there. Ino has gotten some curious changes. You can make that high-low mix-up more ambiguous. And on top of that, she's getting better buttons. Chemical Love's got more active frames. Stroke is getting shot. You're gonna get more control over the fireball, and the air fireball is gonna be faster. H dive kick is going to be more consistent, and her grounded wake up super is going to be shot. Hopefully these changes do more good than harm. But I can tell you this though, Zato mains are thriving. Eddie can exist for longer when he's not attacking. A lot of normals got buffed for Zato, except for 2H, that was purely nerfed. The first hit of Pierce is better for comboing, and the second hit comes out faster. Drill now does less damage, but it only applies scaling once, despite the multiple hits. So it's not all that bad. Leapfrog, it's easier to hit, and it does less damage. For Morphus, it got buffed. It comes out quicker, and it travels faster along the ground. Zato mains are doing fine this patch, especially with Eddie being able to be out longer. Just like how Jackal mains should be excited to have more minion gauge at the start of a round. All of these normals have been buffed, the most significant of which is her jump D, which can be air dash cancelled, jump cancelled, or special cancelled. Her servant kick is getting more active frames and less recovery. And the aerial version will keep you in the air for longer, while expanding the hitbox and hurtbox. Your minions will be able to attack faster. Throwing minions has less recovery, and they have more priority when thrown. The defend command will last longer on servants. Recovering your servants is now safer. Attacking while lifting a servant now deals damage? I thought this was already a thing. And lastly, Forever Elysian Driver now recovers your servants when it's activated, keeping your servants safe. And yeah, that's Jacko. Solid buffs all around. Jacko mains are definitely happy about this. And yeah, that's all the significant character changes that have happened. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you when the patch drops.